In October 2022, the infamous YouTuber Sneako was banned from the platform. According to news outlets, this was due to him repeatedly breaking community guidelines, though the specific meaning of this is unclear. In the 6 months before his ban, he went from a moderately popular content creator to one of the biggest streamers on the site, regularly going live to more than 20,000 of his extremely loyal, rabid fanbase. Some call him a savant social commentator, while others relegate his entire online presence to the promotion of hate, ignorance, and misogyny. One side celebrates him being cast into the Shadow Realm, considering it a win for a more tolerant environment. However, this is far from the consensus. A whole host of people, not necessarily fans of his, by the way, see his banning as a depressing sign of the times, that the climate no longer allows for old-school, politically incorrect YouTube, and Sneako is one of its most prominent scapegoats. But who is Sneako, and what does he stand for, if anything?
People keep saying they want the old Sneako back, and I want to address this. You don't have to be a fan to understand this video. Look at my comments, you'll see half the people watching want to fight. It's unsettling to see someone you relate to become unrelatable.
Sneako, real name Nico, was born on September 8th, 1998, just in time to grow up alongside the internet. Like the rest of Generation Z, he got to watch as it slowly but surely eroded the space once monopolized by traditional legacy media. When you see a teeming cultural shift like that happening, it's only natural to try and join it and ride the wave. He created his YouTube channel on April 9th, 2013, naming it Sneako, a clear portmanteau of his first name. At the time, Nico's uploads to the channel consisted of the tried and true Call of Duty commentary routine. While mostly adhering to the commentary formula, he would attempt to put his spin on the concept, which often meant delving into political discussion over his gameplay.
Alright, so the main issue we're going to talk about today, like we said, is separation of church and state.
The question at hand is, should the US intervene in Syria?
Imagine you're in a BO2 lobby, and you just hit this little motherfucker. Should the US intervene in Syria? It's like, nigga, plant the bomb at B, shut the fuck.
Sneako always made a point of being as transparent as possible in his beliefs, harboring an open discussion on various topics. From wacky internet shenanigans to gun control to critiques of feminism. Looking at it from a neutral perspective, he was actually a good deal ahead of the curve when it came to controversy maxing, which later became the MO of seemingly every commentary YouTuber.
Because now that a lot of people are finding this, they're saying, why are you just copying Tate? I've been saying the same since 2015. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I've been on the same since 2000. I started my channel in 2013. If you don't believe me, if you think that I'm just riding a wave right now, get off my
During this period, he enjoyed a moderate amount of success, cultivating a loyal fanbase intrigued by what he had to say. Eventually, this led him to drop out of college to pursue a career as a full-time content creator. At the time, it seemed risky, especially considering that having YouTube as a job was an even less believable prospect than it is now for the average person. Nonetheless, it paid off. His content would evolve, keeping the edge that intrigued so many during his Call of Duty commentary days, but now with a more philosophical bend to it, if you could call it that. He started recording and editing video essays and think pieces on ego, catcalling, obesity, and his position as a content creator, and what would eventually be termed a social media influencer. This desire to seek what he saw as truth through funny would lead Sneako down the path of notoriety.
Right now, with the amount of eyes I have on me, I could fart out 7 videos a week, make them all 10 minutes long so YouTube would let me spam the mid-roll ads for mobile games. But what's the fun in that? I would hate my own videos. People would know that I'm only in it for the money.
Sneako would always have the propensity to collaborate with other creators to boost the growth of his online presence. When Drama Alert, which back then was at the peak of its game, was looking for a guest star to read a series of statements by a notorious YouTube prankster, FouseyTube, Nico would jump at the opportunity. Neither Sneako nor Keemstar could have seen the absolute diarrhea hurricane about to ensue. Keemstar would give the job to Sneako, despite Nico's age and the personal animosity between the two. The voiceover that Sneako returned to Keemstar was,
"The reading that you did was shit, and then when I told you it wasn't good privately, privately told you it wasn't good, privately told you I'm not going to use it. You had a hissy fit like a little boy and tried to get back at Keemstar because you had an opportunity to be in front of 400,000 people and you blew it, but you couldn't accept the fact that you did a bad job. Instead, you tried to pass the buck on me.
Sneeko wasn't about to take this hit to his pride sitting down. After losing the opportunity to reach such a large audience, he would resort to another way of making it big, stirring the pot. For once, Sneeko actually pioneered a new genre of YouTube videos instead of just contributing to an already existing one. This innovative category was nothing other than Keemstar exposed videos, which up until that point were scant since the majority of YouTubers either ignored him or wanted to be on his good side. Like many pioneers of experimental new art pieces, Sneeko's video would go entirely unappreciated. Once again, he failed to enter the limelight, and Nico deleted the expose soon after its publication. The notorious Gnome and Sneeko would convene on episode 11 of the #Triggered podcast. While Keemstar confronted Sneeko for leaking private discussions and breaking his trust, Sneeko attempted to prove the opportunity was a setup, and Keemstar wanted him to fail all along.
My point is how non-important Sneeko is. But in Sneeko's mind, the world revolves around him, right? We're talking about all these people that offered to do this job, right? And I picked Sneeko. How am I holding a grudge against him? I'm not fucking giving him the opportunity just so he can fucking fail.
That's not what
I'm
you told me.
giving him the opportunity to see if he fails or not.
You went and started messaging me at 3 a.m. and you said, I picked you out of hundreds that asked me to do the reading. Part of me knew you were going to fail, going in, to be honest. I just wanted a reason to call you a loser, and now I have it.
Another thing that everyone must know about Sneeko is that he does not follow the golden rules of YouTube. All right? Any YouTuber knows you do not disclose any private conversations with
That's
other
coming from
YouTubers.
Drama Alert right here. You're telling me that I can't be trusted.
I know you can't be trusted. Don't cry, dude. If you seriously cry, they will
How is
never
he
stop.
crying?
Your channel got shut down, didn't it? Me and my team sat there and worked for fucking weeks to try to get your channel back. How come you hate me though? You hate me. I'm a bad guy.
The bridge that Sneeko would burn so early in his career as a YouTuber would never again be repaired. The two would simply go their separate ways and only speak to one another again after the better part of a decade.
Yo, what up, Keem? Remember me?
Yeah, I was telling the story how I hired you to read something and you did it horribly and you tried to expose me.
Yeah, I was 16, bro. I mean, I learned from that. That was a long time ago. But ultimately, what I learned from that is I wanted to be independent and I didn't want to work for anybody. But I didn't know how to phrase it properly back then, and I'm glad that I decided to work for myself and not work for you.
However, this wouldn't be the only opportunity that Sneeko let slip through his fingers due to his unbridled desire for clout.
I've known him for years now. He used to be a fan of my channel, like a big fan.
At number 2, I have Sneeko, and if you've ever seen Sneeko's videos, you realize that they're kind of addicting. Once you start watching them, it's kind of hard to stop. He's so straightforward with things, and he's not biased on anything. He'll let you know anything that's on his mind.
Mr. Beast was once a relatively small YouTuber, if you can believe that, and his content came from the same strain as Sneeko's. Commentary over epic Call of Duty gameplay. During this time, the two would often talk with one another in comment sections, hyping up each other's videos and being generally supportive. Their similar ages and desire to be the best on the platform would spark a kinship between the two burgeoning creators.
I was in his videos and stuff, like making jokes, like helping edit, like helping set up the stuff.
How'd you meet him?
From YouTube, because I was doing Call of Duty videos for years beforehand. So we had known each other from comment sections when I was 14, 15.
With Mr. Beast, it was crazy because I knew him for years. He was always commenting, encouraging me, saying positive things. He would pass me, I would pass him. And then out of nowhere, he blew up. It really just tested my ego.
Fundamentally, Sneeko wanted to work for himself, ideally by himself, building his own following, wealth, and content with little concern for anything else. His failed run-ins with various creators most likely led to this outlook. He wanted success, he wanted money, and the supposed freedom it would give him. But he wouldn't bend to an algorithm to attain it. As a matter of fact, he would actively strive against it whenever given the opportunity. If he was going to be the best on the platform, he would do it on his own terms.
When I started working for Mr. Beast, I was blown away at how he was making videos. I was used to people just around filming in public. He was operating his crew like a business.
Mr. Beast, on the other hand, sought to study and dissect the algorithm itself. researching the most minute details of a video and how it reflected on his performance.
For example, when we were making this Lego car video, he was absolutely sure it was gonna go viral before we even started filming. It took 3 days to assemble these cars. We had to strip down the golf cart, strip down the go-kart, take these drills and attach the Legos one by one. It was a lot of work, but the whole time he had this image in mind of those Lego cars going down the street in the thumbnail with the Photoshop cop car in the back. The title is I Built a Working Car Using Only Legos. You don't need to watch that video to know that it's viral.
Sneako saw this fabricated, exaggerated persona that Mr. Beast put on and found it repulsive. In his mind, Mr. Beast was bending the knee to the algorithm, which he thought was unacceptable. However, he never actually got around to quitting, since that choice would be taken for him when a representative of Mr. Beast informed Nico that he didn't need to return to production that summer. Just like that, Mr. Beast had quietly dropped Sneako.
I started working for Mr. Beast 2 years ago. It didn't last long because I got caught up with my ego. I was working for a guy that used to be my fan, but I saw him change his YouTube channel to match the algorithm. He fit everything he did so that it would go viral. Sellout or not, that's a fucking smart move. I remember telling him about how my ADHD stops me from editing. I overthink my videos. Sometimes I get too lazy, and he just looks at me and goes, "Oh, just don't do that. Just pay someone to edit. Just don't be lazy."
Nico would interpret this as an attack on his pride, and he would not take it lying down. Sneako would post a video attempting to expose his former associate, cementing this pattern of attacking people he formerly worked with as a habit of his. If he was going down, he was bringing Jimmy right with him.
So what happened? Context. Mr. Beast fired me, and I made an exposed video, and I said that he's not real in his videos, and that he doesn't swear and he doesn't curse and he peels. I made like an exposed video of Mr. Beast trying to talk about the fraud that goes on behind the scenes. I deleted it right away. Almost nobody saw it, but he saw it, and we were like in a situation where we could have been friends, and that completely ruined it.
Sensing that he had overstepped the line by a wide margin, Nico would regretfully pull the video just a few hours after its publication. Nonetheless, the damage was done, and it was seemingly irreversible. Sneako, once again, turned against the people who gave him a shot at working from a larger platform, and the two have yet to mend their broken ties.
Right after I got fired, I was tight. I didn't have any subs at the time. I had like 27K, but I made like a Mr. Beast exposed video trying to like get some redemption from it. And it only got 30 views. I took it down in 10 minutes. Mr. Beast was one of the 30 views, and so like we don't really talk anymore. We went from like being possible friends and stuff like that to like me doing that fucked up the relationship forever.
Nico burnt the bridge, and the two's relationship possibly for life, though it seems that his tone has become much more amicable recently. In a recent appearance on the Boys Cast podcast, he would even show some degree of gratitude for Mr. Beast's mentoring on the inner workings of running a successful YouTube channel.
It's great to see him get on podcasts now because he gave me all that info when I was working with him.
As his YouTube account lulled on its way to success, Sneako took up odd jobs for a while, using his experiences to tell stories to his online fanbase. One of these jobs happened to be modeling, something that would haunt him later in his career. The specter of wearing female sweatpants never entirely left his consciousness.
I didn't know I was gonna look this stupid. It's so weird seeing you on the screen. I gotta tell you, like, this is the first time I got paid doing modeling, ever. Might be the last.
Sneako would seek to diversify his content to use the YouTube platform he had built for years as a foundation to finally achieve his dream job, being a comedian.
I'm so afraid to lose another 2 years that now I specifically go out of my comfort zone.
I started doing stand-up comedy, and I've bombed so hard I've wanted to jump on the train tracks too.
I started modeling and even got signed to an agency, which has been humbling for my ego. I get called a fuckboy a lot, if you can't tell. It's young crowd, so you know what fuckboy means.
Yeah,
right?
And you're wearing is that knockoff Supreme?
Knockoff Supreme? You think I'm broke? I said I dropped out to do YouTube. It's real Supreme. Give me the mic to do it. I came all the way to do my set. What are you gonna say?
As Sneako went his own way, he began moving away from the reflective style of videos that made him famous. Instead, he began covering the views of other people. This evolution in his content took the form of a new, recurring man-on-the-street type series, a lot like Steven Crowder's Change My Mind segment. Sneako dubbed it the 1 Minute Podcast.
Are you a good person?
Yes, I would say so.
Who are you better than?
You? I actually worked in a court for 4 years, and I really enjoyed my work because I got to do a lot of my own like fulfilling things.
You worked in the court?
Yeah, I worked in a court. I was a bailiff for family court, so I would prepare. Yes, I would prepare kids for like court and like their family cases and stuff like that.
Most fucked up kid you saw?
I'm not supposed to tell you, but like my NDA.
It used to be that people called me an asshole, but now it's all ego this, ego that. Everyone's a psychologist. And before, I never thought of myself as that kind of person, but one day it switched and you just become addicted. And that's what made me a dick for a while. I walked around looking good, feeling good, and people react to that. When internally you start thinking that you're better than everyone else without actually doing anything, people will notice. And I'm scared that if I keep inflating my own ego and burying all my crippling insecurities, my shit's gonna pop.
However, despite the success of this series, along with his more artistic vlogs having cleared a final way out of the insular and toxic commentary sphere, Sneako would never let go of his provocateur tendencies. The closer we come to his current ethics, the clearer it becomes that the shenanigans were present long before any of the nuance or insight that attracted people to his content. He embraced his taste for controversy regardless of consequences, completely independent of if it was even consistent with what he previously stood for.
I saw Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. I saw the cover and I got clickbaited. So did you got clickbaited. This is one of the movies that's gonna age well.
If you're afraid of watching it and feeling like a pedophile, then maybe you like kids too much, dog. Like, that was never a problem. When I watched it, like, I know I don't like kids, so I'm just gonna watch the movie. And the same thing with this guy, Peg10. He was like, it's just so bad. It's just so bad. Low key, a lot of these like people who like just sit alone and like go on their computer all day, they're afraid of thinking that they're pedophiles.
The response from his community was pretty predictable, even on re-uploads of the video. This is when I unsubbed, lol. Then when he came back up in the mainstream and I saw how this dude really acts, Lamau, a surprise for sure. Okay, you didn't need to re-upload this one, but I still appreciate you for re-uploading his videos. I literally f***ing love you. Nowadays, it's relatively easy to find whole channels dedicated exclusively to uploading Sneako's breadth of content, with seemingly every comment section rife with lamentations over his fall from grace, and how much better he seemed before his enjoyment of getting embroiled in controversy got the best of him.
I'm surprised you haven't asked us to leave.
Until you do a crime or do something, then I ain't gonna mess with you.
Well, then why are you taking pictures of us?
Right now, your behavior is to where that you might escalate to do something.
Oh, so it's just precaution.
Mm-hmm.
We're not actually breaking any rules.
We do that too.
Yeah, that's why we took a picture of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just in case you might, your behavior seems like you might.
Yeah.
Like, he's half black, so he's, he's got to walk on a thin line.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like Sneako himself said, music hits differently when the artist is dead.
They even call me materialistic now as if it's this dirty word. Listen, you can't just drop acid and talk about life under the stars forever. And you gotta get your money up at some point. And don't take this as a rich guy talking down to you. I literally lost half my life savings in a GameStop meme. I'm just like you. Anything that makes you feel good is making somebody rich. Motivational speakers get rich telling you how to get rich. The truth is, all the questions you want answered are within you. Nothing is that complicated, and life is simple once you learn how to ignore the distractions. I was carrying a lot of anger and resentment. I felt like there was something bigger in life that I wasn't able to see. Walking around bitter with my headphones, not listening to anything, just avoiding eye contact, secretly thinking I was better and smarter and nobody understood me.
You see, ultimately, Sneako's desire was simple.
More, and f***ing more. More followers, more money, more houses, more ass, more lips, more plastic.
However, when the lockdown came in early 2020, he was forced to change tactics since the interviews he conducted in the 1 Minute podcasts were no longer feasible. Continuing his more artistic and thoughtful vlogs on his main channel, Sneako would upload a video that would change the perception many had of him.
The first one is from Jimmy. He said, "Why'd y'all break up? Why'd you dump me?"
He would cheat on his long-distance girlfriend, breaking apart what appeared to be a relatively stable relationship.
There's some things that happen. Ooh, kind of kill my vibe.
Yeah. But overall, it's because we can't travel to see each other.
Yeah. Plus that little thing.
What little thing?
That thing that you did.
Tyra said, what did she want from the relationship that you couldn't give her? I guess complete loyalty. If you're gone for like more than 3 weeks, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's time to, I want
3 weeks though. Come on, man.
3 weeks is a long time. 3 weeks is a long time to not see anybody. Like, that's a long time.
Bruh. Come on, man. You can't wait 2 weeks. I mean, you cannot wait 3 weeks, 1 month.
I did wait 3 weeks. That's what I said. Like, after 3 weeks, it's like, it's time.
You waited only 3 weeks?
After 3 weeks, I'm like, I gotta
Damn. See that? I haven't done anything until you came to London. And even after that, I was waiting until you f***ed me over again.
A considerable portion of his fan base expected him to be wiser or more ethical than to cheat on his partner due to his inability to control his sexual urges for 3 weeks. Consequently, the video was very demoralizing to his audience, though it may be the case that Sneako wanted to be admonished by his fans for his mistakes. He certainly succeeded if that was his intention, as seemingly everyone was disappointed in him. Another big YouTuber, D'Angelo Wallace, would chime in with a simple comment in response to the revelations. He's for the streets. Sneako's response was uncharacteristic for him, considering his renowned outburst that escalated whatever controversy he was in.
Thought his videos were okay until he decided out of nowhere, I don't know why, like I'm not even one starting this beef. He commented on my last video and got top comment saying he belongs to the streets. I only saw like 10 minutes, I was skipping around and I was getting mad. Not only at his braces and the fact that he looks like a TikTok Lil Tecca, not even just the fact that he dresses like Ellen, just his voice, his face. And he didn't wear a mask, and he showed a blade, and he didn't even tell people to wear a mask, and they said no. In a way, I think it's harder to gain 1 million child followers than it is to gain 2 million policemen like D'Angelo Wallace. I think you need to be more inspiring. I think you need to follow trends more. To get like 1 million kids to look up to you is more admirable than like all the mad, fat, gay nerds watching your videos.
Again, the reaction to this move from Sneako split in two. Some people found it pathetic that he made a 30-minute long video response to a 4-word comment from D'Angelo. Others found it not only humorous, but very effective at ridiculing its target. The lack of response from Wallace after Sneako's video only cemented in the public view that whatever negative reactions Sneako might have had from reading his comment, D'Angelo's reaction to the response was probably worse. Seeking to breathe new life into his career, as growth slumped and times got rough during lockdowns, Sneako would use his second channel, Sneako, for live streams and highlights.
What country is the Queen of England from? Originally.
I definitely don't know.
No, give me your best guess. Guess a country.
Texas.
While the channel always saw some level of traction, it wouldn't be until the rise of a particular Tate Shinkai master, camgirl pimp, and warrior for Allah that Sneako would find mainstream notoriety. Andrew Tate needs no introduction, and I already did a video on him, so watch that to catch up on your Turkey Tom extended universe lore. But to summarize for those who don't know, while regular YouTube remained steady in its turn towards less offensive content, YouTube Shorts did the opposite, becoming rife with clips from podcasts Andrew Tate had been on. In these clips, he said all kinds of politically incorrect things, which would prove quite successful on the platform. As his popularity grew exponentially, Sneako would take notice, often reacting to his streams, and becoming increasingly enamored with the worldview Tate espoused everywhere he went.
The Tates, their information on their podcasts have motivated me more than anything else I've ever heard on the internet. I turned my life around since I started listening to them. I've only been streaming for 3 months, and I was maybe 2 or 3 weeks into streaming. You could see it the first time I even reacted to them. I was like, what are these guys doing wearing these shirts and talking so loud? And I peeped the confidence, I peeped the entertainment value they were adding, and I started listening. Because like I said, you have two options, get triggered or listen up.
Since Sneako's beliefs already leaned in a similar direction, it wasn't so difficult for him to see which way the wind was blowing and hop on the hype train. Just like a rising tide raises all ships, the unprecedented popularity of masculinity-oriented content ballooned Sneako's content along with Tate's. He would very enthusiastically take Tate's teachings to heart, which earned him a lot of clout with Andrew's audience. However, what Sneako wasn't ready for was the scrutiny that was to follow. It turns out that people in the red pill space are much more rigorous than they come off as. With nearly a decade's worth of chicanery to comb through, it was more likely that the skeletons in his closet would contradict the persona he had come to adopt.
Have you ever worn or fantasized about wearing clothes of another sex? I mean, I've wore high heels before. Chat, bro, come on, bro. Does that make me gay if I put on some high heels? Have you ever looked at a person of the same sex and felt attracted in a sexual way? I'm gonna say, chat, we're being honest. We're being honest. It's happened. Your friends decided to go party at a gay bar. I've been to gay bars, chat. To be honest, no, fake flirting doesn't count. Fake flirting doesn't count. I'd feel awkward about it. If there were no people left in the world except for someone of the same sex, you would fall into despair after you would never have a sexual partner again. Bro, chat, let's be honest though.
So after doing some digging, I very unfortunately found photos of Sneako stroking his penis in front of what I can only assume is a male photographer. Now to me, these look like professional photos. There's obviously lighting involved, and it's very apparent his penis is in his hand. I can't show it on YouTube, but I'll post it on my Twitter. Given the context of Sneako saying that gay men run the modeling industry, you can only assume that a gay man is taking the photos, but we don't know that for a fact. So Sneako, please prove me wrong. Prove this isn't a man's ass, and prove these photos were not taken by a gay man.
Ironically, the ultimate result of Sneako's attempts to be his own man, at the behest of everything else and to never submit to someone else's way of doing things, led him to be in the shadow of Andrew Tate.
Gentlemen, we've had success with phase 1.
That's crazy. Is this disrespectful? Would you tolerate this?
1. Expensive cars, money, classic Tate W, and most importantly, women. We do be getting them bitches though.
Classic Tate W, man.
I've never said classic Tate W.
When he noticed this was happening, Sneako would attempt to set himself apart from Tate. How did he do this? Well, instead of pimping random women online for money, Sneako let another guy bang his girlfriend for free.
Listen. The arrangements of our open relationships, like, I can go and, like, once in a while use a condom and, like, you know, one night stands, whatever.
You said something to the nature of whatever happens, happens.
What? Yeah, so we go in there with the mentality that whatever happens inside that party, it just stays at the party. Like, yeah. And so I saw her, I've seen her f other men, and it's just like that.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I saw like literally right.
I can't be an open
it's like she's moaning pretty loud. Like, I don't know like how much you. I didn't expect you to
dictate that moaning loud. This nigga let his girl to get fucked. So what niggas? And he's watching.
Let me. If I'm able to go and have one night stands and have an open relationship, and she can only go on dates, this is the place where she can exercise the open relationship. Like it should be fair that she can take other dick if I'm fucking other pussy. Like,
equality.
That's balance. And I'm getting like anxious. Like, I don't want to do this. And so we go alone in the bathroom, and she's like helping me out, like calming me down. And then we start doing our thing in the bathroom, and then the door's open. People come and start watching. This other couple comes in. Hold on. And so while I'm like hitting it from the back, he lays down on the floor and starts licking her. But think about like the logistics of that.
Is that close?
Think about the logistics. Like, his head is like under, is like 6 inches, like his eyebrows are like tickling the bottom, and I have to like move, like go like that so I don't make contact, because his eyebrows are like between both legs. Yeah.
With your girl, y'all?
Well, yeah, we're standing up, I'm hitting it from the back, and then he goes underneath. So then we go into the room, like her and the couple, like we're like, all right, let's switch. So I got this girl on top of me, and she's, I don't know, yo, I'm just not, and my girl's right here, and she's like, and I'm like, oh, yo, I'm like feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person. It's a lot. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test.
So you haven't anybody at these parties?
No.
Tweets from 2021 that resurfaced during this time also don't help Sneako's position. What does it mean when your girlfriend tells another man in front of you, "I'm single," and then has sex with him? One may expect that this kind of story breaking about one of the most popular people in the red pill space would be a bombshell. But, believe it or not, people kind of didn't care. His fans seemingly found some way to justify what happened, rather than criticize Sneako for constantly making fun of promiscuous women while engaging in genuine hypergamy. Later on, when Sneako would involve himself in yet another internet beef with fellow YouTuber and ex-collaborator Brandon Buckingham, it would be brought up.
I used to be a fan of Sneako, way back before he cosplayed as an alpha male. He used to make philosophical videos about life, people, society, and I really enjoyed them. I thought they were well put together, well edited, and I respected him. However, somewhere along the line, things went south for our little alpha male. Clouded by the pursuit of fame, money, and women, he turned into his shadow self, or perhaps who he's been this entire time. Fast forward to April of 2021, I meet Sneako for the first time in Las Vegas at Steezy Kane's birthday party, and my initial reaction was shock. I felt he was an egomaniac that viewed himself as better than everyone. You could tell he thought he was the coolest guy around, and I remember our first interaction vividly. He treated me like some fanboy piece of shit because I was giving him props about his videos.
Like Nico's previous conflicts, this one would also be born from a previously friendly relationship. Despite their collaborations being too few and far between to consider them friends, Brandon certainly had good feelings about Sneako.
He's hopping into frame, talking into my mic, and being a lot cooler than when we first met. I'm like, shit, maybe this guy's alright. We spent a few hours hanging out, and it made me think, maybe I had the wrong idea. I imagine him like admiring his shit in the toilet, but, you know, that's all speculation. I really think that. I think he does that. And when I was out at dinner with Sneako and his girlfriend in New York, she was flirting with everyone very hard, making it entirely apparent she was fair game and was seemingly down to hook up, but none of us reciprocated this behavior. We didn't flirt back, we didn't give her any vibes.
After 9 months, in June 2022, Buckingham would sign with Happy Punch, a YouTube boxing event headed by none other than Keemstar. Seeking to find competitors for the event, Brandon would ask Sneako whether or not he'd be up to box.
So Keemstar doesn't want to sign Sneako to box, and mind you, I had told Sneako that I could try to get him signed to fight me or to fight another opponent. I was going to try to help him get signed regardless of my benefit. Sneako ends up messaging me saying something like, actually, he doesn't really want to box. So I reply, and I quote, "I got you. I hope it didn't rub you the wrong way or anything. I just thought you'd be a legitimate good opponent that I'd respect. Much love, Sneako." He responded to me saying that by saying, "Why you on my dick?"
However, Brandon did not take the slight against him well.
I reached out to clarify I didn't disrespect him by challenging him to a fight, and he called me a dick rider in response. And then I sat back, thought about it for a second. I was thinking, what a pompous little fucker. Here I am trying to help him, and he spits in my face and treats me like a fanboy just because I was showing him respect and clarifying our relationship.
Up until this point, the people who Sneako clashed with were either as petty as he was, didn't care, or didn't know how to react when attacked. This time it was different. The fight hadn't happened, but the victory of this exchange was obviously Brandon's. It could be said that this was the first time Sneako took a massive, public L, as the kids would say. However, Nico didn't know when to stop. A twist that is becoming increasingly unsurprising in this story.
See, if he would have stopped at this point, he had me beat. I was the asshole at this point. He could have ran with the fact that it was just a joke that I misinterpreted. He was winning at this point. So I wake up from a little power nap to a FaceTime, and as I answer, I'm caught off guard because I see Sneako is pointing a camera at me and I'm on stream.
Yo, what up, Brandon? Yo, so I was talking to my chat about what happened. There's no beef, bro. I don't care. Good luck in the fight and everything. What do you want to say?
I was hella tight. I thought like we had some weird animosity beef. I guess I just misread what you said.
You're a comedian, bro. How the f did you not think that I was telling a joke?
Well, because first of all, I haven't seen you or talk. I haven't talked to you in like 10 months, right? Like we don't really keep up with each other like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like that same energy of like supporting you and with you, just flip to the other side.
Yeah, just don't do that again. Don't do that again. You know what I'm saying? He's saying he like, oh, I love your stream, love your video. Hey, why you want my get off my dick? Because it makes me feel uncomfortable when people give me too many compliments.
Clarifying someone isn't upset that you challenge them to a boxing match is completely reasonable, but he has to make up this whole story about him trying not to big bro me after I fanboyed out so he can come out as this humble, logical good guy when that is a blatant lie. And if he's watching this, then unblock me, screenshot the fucking DMs, and show him yourself. You lied.
The stream, dubbed Making an Example Out of YouTubers, is pretty much exactly what the title suggests. Humiliating those he thinks have wronged him in front of his entire audience, instead of taking the Brandon Buckingham situation as an opportunity to learn that reckless hostility isn't the appropriate way to act when you think someone might have slighted you. He decided to double down and go kamikaze.
The other YouTuber I want to make an example out of is Brandon Buckingham. He's an up-and-coming YouTuber. He was a fan, he got tight at a gay joke, and then said exactly the same shit that Lamza said. He kept asking me to get into a fight, and I'm like, man, I don't really feel like it. And I said like, bro, I don't feel like doing it. And then he says something like, yo, I've been watching the streams, keep it up, keep doing what you're doing. I love your videos and everything. And I'm like, hey, why you on my
Considering the drama about to explode between Buckingham and Sneako, this description of Buckingham seems relatively light. However, we're still in the calm before the storm.
Fuck. Jesus Christ, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to watch Sneako too. I was really into like his whole like philosophical, super edited type of videos, but the more I watch Sneako, the more I realize like something's off about him.
Dude, you know you can't post this, right? Yeah, I know.
Nico's livestream channel, Sneako, would quickly grow to become the lifeblood of his online popularity. At his peak, he managed to gain over 117,000 subscribers in one single week. This marked a definitive move away from the cool, calm, and collected, even if opinionated Sneako from what now seems to be a distant past, into a Sneako that was extremely online and extremely offensive.
Do we want to look back at ancient Greece? You know, small penises used to be a symbol of masculinity back then.
Yeah, they were also having gay butts in Greece.
That's irrelevant to what I just said.
With this newfound patent for pushing the buttons of internet outrage culture, it seemed Sneako was rudderless, not at all open to reconsider any of the actions he was becoming widely disliked for. For a man seeking to position himself as being based in reality, he managed to undo that image in a single stream.
You want to talk a little bit about the drama that's going on with you and Sneako?
Yeah, Sneako made up fake R-word accusations. He said word for word that I said, I'm going to R-word your girlfriend.
And look,
that's insane.
this isn't up for debate because Brandon did not say that. Like, you know, this has already been debunked.
Fact, I didn't say that.
Yo, you know who's an L-mans? Brandon Buckingham.
Oh, yeah.
That guy sucks. Bro, literally said, I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Literally said that. This dude said he is going to R-word my girlfriend. Bro, nothing warrants saying I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend.
As far as insulting people or saying mean things about them online, I'm personally game for most of it, honestly. However, it's a very different story when you are accusing someone of It should be universally recognized that false accusations of that nature are forbidden, even in environments that people call toxic.
She doesn't respect them. They would look at my girlfriend and fold. Real talk. Like, if I'm being real...
Hey, bro, I was looking at your girl, and she was looking at me, and I did think about folding her over something, consensually, of course, but I didn't. You know who did, though? A bunch of weird dudes right in front of you.
But it was far too late for settling any of these disputes peacefully, as Sneako had opened Pandora's box, sullying his own image, live, in an attempt to smear fellow creators who otherwise would have held no animosity against him. Honestly, most of these situations speak for themselves. It's not necessarily that Sneako was just wrong in every instance, but the attitude with which he approached seemingly every problem with someone else was extremely counterproductive and petty.
So what exactly happened here? What made you make up the replies? Is that sticking to funny in your eyes? Is that sticking to truth? This fucking guy's always talking about truth. I mean, it's so weird to make up a accusation on another man. If he had his way and people believed what he said, think about it. If those accusations were taken as fact, people would say, oh, don't hang out with Brandon Buckingham. He threatened to rape a woman.
It also proved very hard for Sneako, who, at this point, was a fledgling in the pro-masculinity online community, to reconcile his more eccentric proclivities with what was held as common sense by everyone else. Quickly, his position as the carrier of Andrew Tate's legacy was severely undermined.
But I'm telling you, Chad, the reason I'm talking about this is because internet has diluted a lot of the basic respect that we need to have as people. A lot of people need to step outside and realize what they're saying. And because of YouTube, because of this, it's all content.
After the termination of Andrew Tate and his brother from seemingly every social media platform in 2022, the community that had developed around their cult of personality was extremely taken aback, as they looked for someone else to continue promoting their ideas.
Sneako, young man, if I disappear, I'm passing the torch to you. Keep spreading the message. While it's still relevant to talk about Andrew Tate, I appreciate you showing this.
Sneako saw this as an opportunity, not just to profit off of their loyalty to the Tate brothers, but to inherit a cult of personality of his own, which would overlook any and all of his glaring character flaws. Of course, Sneako's old audience would be very distraught by how quickly he jumped on this particular bandwagon, literally became what he despised. Nobody said Sneako was the smartest or most morally correct guy, but the first thing he said here is true. At least he spoke the truth once, instead of always lying. Lol. Dude, it's Sneako. No matter what, we need to keep riding him. Real homie shit. Sneako may have formally passed the torch, but it was evidence that giving such responsibility to the young creator was basically feeding an already raging fire. Over the years, it was always hinted that Nico had a tendency towards egomania, and now he had the mother of all followings at his fingertips. It seemed pretty clear to all of those around that Sneako was beginning to step over boundaries that figures like Tate would never have even contemplated. The increasing amount of spats that Sneako would find himself involved in would reach some of the biggest creators on the platform, notably KSI.
This is the thing, it's a personal message to you, KSI. I had no problem with you. I don't fucking know you. I don't watch your bullshit YouTube channel. But when I get banned, you want to go from a fan to just fucking instantly cowering out to the Matrix. That makes you a hypocrite. There's nothing more disgusting in the world but a male hypocrite. Ethan's a hypocrite as disgusting, as are you. You don't even stick by your guns. He doesn't even stick by his fucking guns. He doesn't even say, you know what? Andrew was all right. He said some funny things. He shouldn't have got banned. At least Jake Paul was man enough to say, stand up for fucking free speech. If you ever fought Jake, he would smash your fucking face in.
He'd fucking smoke you.
And if you want to get smoked twice, I'll fucking smoke you myself. You are full of shit. You're a fucking hypocrite. The shit you've said in the past is worse than anything I've ever fucking said, and you know it. You want to talk about having a boxing match? You're fucking 3 rounds boxing against some nobody. I will take you 12 rounds and I will break every bone in your fucking face. And you know it. Either before or after Jake's done with you. You're a fucking hypocrite as well. Fucking dork. KSI.
KSI would respond with the following. Crying from outside of the club. Jake Paul and you can get it soon. I want all the smoke.
Fucking Sneako, bro. Literally, he is the son of Andrew Tate. Cried when Andrew Tate was upset. He's like, Daddy,
are you upset? Oh my God, did KSI upset you? Oh, Daddy Tate.
Sneako would quickly jump to Tate's defense, deriding KSI for celebrating Tate's ban. I would join your stream, but Andrew Tate owns you. Sorry, W Tate. W Convo, get your clout up and one day I'll join. You're lucky that I ain't got time for this. No principles or character, everything is about clout to these people. If you're such a top G, if you're such an alpha like your daddy Tate, why not test that alpha? Let us have a little spar and see how manly you really are in person. You can talk that talk behind a screen, but in the real world, you'll act different, I'm sure. Keep feeding bullshit to your audience. Remember, I've been doing this way longer than you have. But, as I can see, you're truly just a man with zero values. Anyone over to be the main guy at the top of the ladder. Demeaning to women, demeaning to Islam, demeaning to people and their weight for your bubble. Your truth is a lie. You're a trend that's dying. Enjoy it for now.
And now you sold out. Now you got a drink that's like poisonous. Prime is just Gatorade garbage. You promote OnlyFans to your 12-year-old audience.
Daddy Tate!
You can't even debunk what I'm saying. I'm calling you out for being a fucking hypocrite. For saying, thank God Andrew Tate got banned, when you almost got banned for making jokes that went too far according to the woke mob. So I'm pointing out the fact that you're a simp for the woke mob now. You don't want to get canceled again. Instead of addressing that fact, you gotta go, Andrew Tate, writer.
He is the son of Andrew Tate. Cried when Andrew Tate.
See, this is what they all say. This is what every single hater says. They say, I'm a Andrew Tate writer. They talk about the swinger party from a year ago. They talk about the fact that I used to have an open relationship. They say that I'm an alpha male. They say I'm a fake alpha male. They say I'm fake red pill. They say I'm a liar grifter. And yeah, bro, you can beat me in a fight. You've boxed long, you can beat me in a fight. So I can't properly call you a like I want to because you've sold out and because you're afraid of getting canceled. But you're afraid of a debate, you're afraid of a conversation, you would get exposed.
Increasingly, Sneako was finding himself under heavy scrutiny for his increasingly radical comments. Some would say he was simply speaking the truth in an off-the-cuff or blunt manner, as perhaps was his intention. But other people, typically those with more pull in mainstream YouTube than Sneako supporters, believed he was using his platform to spread dangerous ideas, whatever they considered them to be.
I know you want me to call you a toxic, problematic incel, but I'm not going to call you any of those things. I'm going to call you stupid. You are stupid and you are promoting dangerous, dumb ideas that aren't based in reality that make life worse for everyone.
And in an apocalyptic world where there's only one woman left, guess what he would do to her?
But if they were the last two, bro, you are getting fucked. There's no option about it. Whether you want to or not, you're getting fucked. If there's two people, there's no consent, there's no police. Are you kidding me? It's happening.
Bro, that sounded so evil, bro.
So I've been making content about you. It's like reviewing your content.
It's
not
goofy
all
and it's
negative.
not funny. Like at least it should be funny. Like you're really boring to listen to. Like everybody in here is laughing at you. Papa Gut. Like your voice is annoying. Like at bottom line, like that's
screaming.
Wait, do you really think my voice is
people listen
annoying?
up then.
Content you made.
I think that's a
You
bad
have made jokes about eyelashes like 500 times.
And you keep
in your
watching
videos.
it.
You're like,
And you keep watching it, and I've never seen your videos. And I've never seen your videos, and I never will. But you know my jokes. That's how much you watch my bro. That's embarrassing.
We're used to taking the blue pill. We're not used to taking the red pill. And when you get when you swallow one pill, it feels good.
Apologizing is the blue pill.
It feels good.
Apologizing is the blue pill. So then why did you apologize? Because you felt bad?
Yeah, I left, bro. How many times I said I genuinely felt bad. You say you're not listening, Sneako.
I'm
You're
listening.
Not,
I'm listening.
No,
but
you're
I
not.
don't think
You're
you should
not
feel
listening.
bad. I'm listening.
Sneako,
but
you
it doesn't make
already
sense.
have what you want to say in your mind, and you literally said this
What
in your
doesn't make
video.
sense to me?
I've
What
literally
doesn't-
heard you say this clip. You say you don't listen to what people say. You go on and assume what they're gonna say, bro. You know how many clips on TikToks I've seen where you assume what the girl was gonna say, but then she says something different. You're like, oh shit, I was not expecting that.
All of these issues were compounded by Sneako's association with far-right political commentator Nick Fuentes.
There is something baked into the cake in Judaism which affects how they're brokering these kinds of contracts with entertainers like Ye.
The people who were already worried that Sneako's social media machine might become a dangerous trash fire were now seeing that things might have been worse than they expected. The overall careless attitude he had about what kinds of things he exposed his fanbase to alerted those who already thought he didn't deserve a platform with such a young and impressionable audience. As a consequence, people began wondering how they could get him kicked out by any means necessary.
What's up, Cozy? 07's in the chat. Shout out to all the Goipers, man. I stayed up. Nick!
There we are. Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Nick, you're getting on my ass right now. I appreciate the free speech and everything, but you can't drop the N-word. You can't do that anymore on the stream.
I just said it one time.
You really sad about the queen dying? 100%, bro. You don't think the kids and like fucking each other's cousins?
Oh
you don't
my
think,
God, bro.
You don't think the queen was an OG?
No, Sneako's going off way more like on the conspiracy side, I think, than like where Tate is. Andrew Tate might be marketing red pill stuff that I think is kind of okay, but people like Sneako are the result of reading it the wrong way.
The heat would get so intense that clips from live streams featuring Sneako, Fuentes, and Destiny would be played in front of the United States Senate during a hearing on social media's effects on national security.
I want to show you something. They played my stream in the Senate. They played my stream in the Senate. They're watching this stream right now. There's government officials watching this. Let me show you. I'm not crazy. They played it in the fucking Senate.
To limit the spread of the hateful, dangerous, and extremist content that has motivated.
He said hateful, dangerous, and extremist content that has motivated
real world violence.
Real world violence. He said something about the Jewish religion. He said something about Judaism, and I went, joking.
However, things soon came to a head when Sneako got in a bit of a disagreement with YouTuber Chad, known for her TikTok commentary series, A Twinge of Cringe.
This feminist garbage hides the fact that she's attracted to that guy making the videos. It is what it is. Girls, you could vouch for it. You know it's true. She would. She would. You could tell by the way she's talking that she hasn't been properly in a long time. It's been a while. So she's on the internet making this garbage video, promoting all this feminist garbage to your lonely girls in the comment section. What you really need, Chad, is some yeah, shut up with your feminism. Yeah, come here. That's what you need. And she's gonna go, that's what you need. You need some sense back into you.
If there's one thing that's more powerful and petty than the US government, it's the audience of TikTok girls. The outcry that would follow this outburst would only further reduce the amount of time Sneako had left on mainstream platforms before he, too, was inevitably ejected. Just like Tate before him, he was aware that he was posting on borrowed time, so he decided to up the ante and engage in even more self-destructive antics. YouTubers like Nick Green would go as far as to break YouTube's terms of service to advocate for the mass flagging of Sneako's accounts to get him deplatformed.
Sneako is harassing a female content creator, telling her that the reason why she's so upset is because she hasn't had sex in a while, and then he proceeds to aggressively simulate a sexual assault on Chad in his live stream in front of thousands of people. If you watch this video and you also believe that Sneako should be banned from YouTube, you can go to his channel pages, click about, and then click the flag icon on the right side of the page and report the user.
The aforementioned Brandon Buckingham would even get involved, tweeting, "The fact that Sneako, after knowingly falsely accusing me of making threats, is about to get banned from YouTube for making threats is one of the most ironic turn of events I've ever had the pleasure of being involved in. Truly divine. Nick Green's content is unwatchable and his personality is unbearable. I also do not support the cancel culture deplatforming bullshit, but after getting falsely accused of rape by the guy, it's hard not to sit back and laugh at all of this.
In your crusade to become a free thinker who only speaks the truth, you've become an absolute f***ing idiot. I don't care if you're toxic and problematic. I care about people's safety, and the ideas that you are spreading on your channel directly lead to people being less safe."
Sneako's termination was really a long time coming. Did he deserve it? I would say no, but was it inevitable? Yes. YouTube would terminate Sneako's second channel, Sneako, where most of the abrasive content was hosted. However, they didn't stop at that, and moved on to deleting his entire channel as well. It didn't matter that he had run that channel for over a decade, as seniority is meaningless to YouTube, and down the drain went an entire decade's worth of dedication, and arguably even talent, just like that. I would go on about how the precedent that this kind of crackdown sets should be a warning to all of us, but these days, most people don't care about free speech anyway, so you know what, I won't waste my breath. Whether you agree or disagree with him, Sneako's young fan base, along with Tate's before him, are simply migrating to alternate websites or private chat groups, where they will continue to be as raucous and offensive as you can imagine. I have no idea what will happen when this cultural pressure cooker blows up, but I'm certain it means bad news for the people who banned them in the first place.
After nearly a decade of dedicating my life's work to YouTube.com, they terminated all of my channels. Not only that, but I'm gonna pursue legal action against Google for freezing $120,000 of my dollars because they terminated my account when they felt like it. So I posted a YouTube short on my main channel saying, "Hey guys, I can't stream for 2 weeks, I'll see you soon." And YouTube hit me with the circumvention strike, and that's how they were able to delete everything off the platform. A lot of these booster shot, indoctrinated, brainwashed YouTubers are trying to take credit for the fact that I'm banned, when in reality it's bigger than you. The government is watching me. The senator of Michigan played my clip of a stream. The committee, the chair of Homeland Security, said that I'm a domestic threat and that I'm encouraging violence. What really happened is Susan got a phone call from somebody on Epstein Island saying, "You need to get rid of this guy. He's growing too fast and he's exposing the truth. You need to get rid of him before he keeps waking people up." I am exactly who I say I am, and people don't believe the lies like they have with all these other martyrs of free speech. I posted a list of names on my Instagram. Andrew Tate, Kanye West, Donald Trump, Alex Jones, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, all these people who have tried to save freedom of speech, and Instagram took it down for violence. Time will tell, and eventually people will understand where I'm coming from.
The response from fellow content creators was, to say the least, largely indifferent.
Well, I mean, I tried to warn him. I tried to warn him. And yeah, YouTube, I mean, look, it's YouTube's website. They can do whatever the fuck they want. If he broke TOS, then that's an L for him. But I warned him. I told him, like, he was moving mad. He was moving mad.
Shout out Sneako. We talked about Sneako, didn't we? Basically just a manosphere, red pill, woman-hating loser.
Wannabe Tate.
Yeah, just another one, you know, another off-brand, insecure man. So anyway, he got banned, so we'd love to see it.
See you, partners.
See ya, partner.
You can argue that it's YouTube's right to simply wipe the existence of naughty people off of these sites, but don't be so surprised when it happens to you. We can celebrate or deride Sneako's ban all we like. It doesn't change the fact, as of the time of writing, we are ultimately at the whim of an unfeeling algorithm that picks sides, changes rules, and punishes anyone and everyone when it suits its need.
It took me a month to make. There's cinematics in it. It's like a short film. There's scripting. It's artistic. There's a really funny street interview at the end. I was basically playing the character of an incel to try to view women accurately in 2022. And this idiot watched this video, was like, oh, guys literally do like an incel dude. He didn't even understand it because of his low IQ bot brain, and he probably made more money in 10 minutes reacting to my video that I spent a month making, pouring my heart and soul into, one of the best videos I ever made. And so I'm like, why am I spending all this time investing into trying to change people's mind, trying to make difference on the internet where people are so easily brainwashed and influenced, when I could just react to when I could just yell, because this guy's not funny, this guy's not entertaining, he's low energy, he's stupid and predictable. I can be better than this. And in 3 months, I almost got 1 million subscribers from nothing on my second channel, so fast that they had to ban me. So I wanted to prove the point that I can be better than these bots, and I did.
You're better than them, but you became them.
How did I become them?
Do you think that a spiritual void exists today in the Western world?
Yeah, I believe in God.
When you're talking to people on your platform, I hear you guys talk about what it means to be successful, what it means to achieve, what it means to accomplish things. And all I ever hear you guys talk about are cars, mansions, 30 hoes. Why?
Because that's dope.
When you talk about those things, those are the exact types of journeys that lead you to the spiritual void.
Just like Tate, Sneako was vaporized from the platform. Perhaps it's a testament to what Nico used to create that there are entire channels created in the express name of preserving his back catalog of content. More so, it could be an indictment of where Sneako ultimately ended up, that his old content is what many of his fans look back on fondly. His subreddit, filled with these former fans reminiscing about the good old days, is especially telling of this. Sneako always wanted to step out from the crowd, to make his own way, something that is clearly reflected in his philosophical and political views. However, the end result of this fixation was that the fate of his online presence and content was decided not by himself or his fans, but by a blanket ban that cut him off from them permanently. For a man who wanted to make something new, something different, something uniquely him, who can look at what has happened and confidently say that this is not what he always wanted?
I need people to admire me. It's fucking corny. I desired fame for so long. That was, I thought my life would be set if I'm famous. Fame brings a lot, but it turns you into kind of an egomaniac.
I will say that Nico seems like a man who has lost his way, so desperately in need of a mentor, someone to look up to and guide him, that he'll settle for Andrew Tate of all people. He's a series of conflicting ideas, a man who preaches traditional values, yet has an open relationship, went to orgies and enjoyed countless threesomes, a man who presents himself as humble and forgiving, yet acknowledges the egomania he has obtained from being a content creator for a living. Someone who claims that he wants to wake his audience up from the mainstream narrative, while feeding that same audience his own narrative on how the world works, from an extremely limited set of experiences. Maybe the most honest thing Sneako has ever said is that your views are always inside you. You don't need some random guy on the internet to tell you what they are. Sneako, however, at the time of writing this, is 24 years old and is still
trying to mature, man. I'm trying to mature, but I still do dumb shit. Like, I'm aware of a lot of the mistakes I make, but I don't stop doing them. I just feel guilty about it afterwards. You know what I mean?
But that doesn't excuse the serious, real-life ramifications of his actions. And the question remains, is someone who cannot control their own ego and is still maturing in their own right, deserving of such a large platform that so many trust? Should anyone even look up to him?
I think you could cry in a video and say I have mental health problems. Twitter made me sad. I needed to take a mental health break because I was on Twitter too much. And they do that because liberals will all go in the comments and be like, oh my God, feel better. Oh, I'm so glad you're opening up. I'm also sad. I'm also sad. My therapist told me this. And all it does, you think that it's getting over your mental health, but all it does is encourage it more and more. It gives you a sense, it gives you dopamine that other people are like validating your mental health problems. When reality is your life hard, you're a successful YouTuber, you stream all day, your life is easy. You have the easiest job ever, you have the best job ever, and Twitter made you sad? Get over it.
Today, it seems that many are simply looking for someone to trust, someone to believe in, someone to look up to. Simply put, there are no more heroes, and now we instinctively turn to others, whether rock stars, athletes, or in this case, internet father figures like Tate, to guide us. In a time when a lot of people are becoming increasingly discontent with the world in which we live, it's kind of understandable why people would turn to someone like Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate, Sam Hyde, or Sneako as someone to offer them something new. What may be important to keep in mind is that ultimately, these people are no different from us. Captivating and entertaining as they may be, they are often inconsistent, ego-filled hypocrites grasping for some sense of meaning in a world ripe with questions and sparse in answers. For now, on Rumble, Sneako will continue looking.
Chat,
Nick just texted me right now, and I can't. Oh my God, that's gonna come on stream soon. Can I get some W's? I can't tell you. But Nick just texted me the dopest shit of all time. I can't tell you yet, but let's go. Give me some. Just trust me. I met Ye. I'm never gonna fail. I did it.
I've been Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.
Times before, and it's just not that far.